glad. What do you think about the shit Elon's going through with Saturday Night Live?
Ridiculous.
Yeah, it's puzzling.
No one is woke enough. They can't appreciate the fact that you're dealing with literally one of the most brilliant men that's ever lived, who's going to come do your show. You're talking about a guy who simultaneously runs multiple world-changing businesses, whether it's Tesla, whether it's SpaceX, whether it's the boring companies making tunnels underneath the fucking earth. He's putting satellites into space to put high-speed internet around the world. He's doing all these things simultaneously.
But can he write a monologue is what we're going to find out.
He's not funny. He's a brilliant guy. He could probably do anything if he set his mind to it. But the fact that they've decided somehow that he's problematic, like, it doesn't make any sense.
I mean, yeah, but no one's really saying what. Is it just because he's rich?
Who knows? It doesn't matter anymore. They just decide, like, what the fuck is this? And everybody's like, what the fuck is this? This is bullshit.
So there was
Why
no obvious catalyst for this?
No.
Okay, I was just curious.
There was some people that felt like he dismissed COVID's danger at one point in time. They didn't like him because of that, but he did it just because he's intelligent, because his perspective was, he's a reductionist, or I should say, like, his perspective on it was like looking at the numbers and looking at what it is as a thing, instead of looking at the emotional impact of people losing loved ones. And so sometimes someone who's like a genius might say something that appears to be insensitive. I don't think he's insensitive. I think he was just looking at it in terms of, like, what is the odds that you're going to die, and he's saying that children are essentially immune, and he was saying things that a lot of people felt were insensitive. But that was, first of all, A, it was a long time ago, and B, he was just explaining his perspective on the disease, and he wasn't as fearful as they thought he should be. And then, he came to our shows, and there's pictures of all of us hanging out maskless. And then people got COVID afterwards. So a lot of people thought that it was his girlfriend that gave us COVID.
By the way, he and she were very incredibly kind.
Super nice.
Unaffected. I teased him about being the richest man in the world. He took it with good humor. And what's funny is I had hung out with him years ago after I quit Chappelle's show. When I was on that tour that I was telling you about, that was a tough one. We hung out on a tour bus, and he says to me that night when we was all together here in Austin, he goes, I met you before. I'm like, I have no recollection. And he looked kind of hurt. It was a long time ago. It was like 2-3 companies ago. I just thought it was funny, like, that he was the richest man in the world.
I think whether the people that are complaining that he's going to be on Saturday Night Live, I think what's going on now is, like, they want someone to be 100% compliant to whatever ideology they're a part of. And any deviation of that is problematic. Whether it's because they think, like, I saw an article that said Elon Musk donated $150 million to some charity, and they called him a cheapskate.
That's hilarious.
How hilarious is that?
Well, wait till they see when I'm a billionaire. Talk about, get ready for this cheapskate. No, my brother.
But it was such a shitty article. It's just a poorly written knucklehead article.
It's again, like you say, no one can be woke enough. I'm torn because I like a warrior for a good cause, but I'm really into tactics. You're not going to nag people into behaving
right
in a way that's, in fact, if you continue with this tone, even if you're right, you'll be very hard to hear.
Yeah, I think so.
And
it's just, I don't mean, maybe it was the COVID thing, like I'm saying. But again, if I think back on his statements, I don't think they were particularly insensitive. I think they were just, it was more of like a factual bluntness to the way he discusses things, because he's a numbers guy. He looks at things in terms of equations. He's trying to put people on Mars. You know what I mean?
I remember seeing him on your show once, just like on one of these YouTube clips. But I dug the clip because it was just one soundbite. He said, I have so much in my mind.
Yeah.
You remember this?
Yeah. Because I asked him, I'm like, what's it like to be you? Like, what's it like just think? He goes, you wouldn't want to be me.
I remember, yes, it's the one.
It wasn't bragging. It was just like, he's being honest. Like, you wouldn't want this. His brain is like a hurricane. Like, there's just ideas like, whoosh, like you could see it while he's sitting there. He's trying to sit here and just have a conversation with you, and he's probably going over fucking equations and thinking about concepts and new ideas and plotting things. And